Klumper Corporation is a diversified manufacturer of industrial goods. The company's activity-based costing system contains the following 6 activity cost pools. We're going to use our activity cost pools and activity rates that were given to calculate expected activity rates so we can calculate an overhead cost per unit. After we calculate our overhead cost per unit, we'll calculate our total cost per unit by adding together our direct material cost per unit, our direct labor cost per unit, and our manufacturing overhead cost per unit. So again, we begin by picking up our activity rates that we had already calculated and they're given in the problem. The next step is to pick up the expected activity levels, which are also given in the problem. Our expected activity levels for the K425 and also the expected activity levels for the M67. Our next step is to calculate the amount of overhead cost assigned to each one of our products, the K425 and the M67. We'll do it on a activity cost pool by cost pool basis. First, let's consider the labor-related cost assigned to the K425. This will be $480, which is the activity rate of $6 per direct labor hour, multiplied by our 80 expected hours. Our machine-related overhead cost assigned to the 425 will be $400. This is the $4 per machine hour multiplied by 100 estimated machine hours. We will assign $50 in estimated machine setup related cost, which is our predetermined activity rate of $50 per setup multiplied by 1 expected setup. The cost of production orders assigned to the K425 will be $90. The shipping cost assigned to the 425 will be $14. And finally, our general factory overhead is being allocated at $9 per direct labor hour, and we have estimated 80 hours of direct labor hours for the 425, so we'll assign $720 in overhead. Our total overhead cost then assigned to the K425 will be the sum of these, which is $1,754. To calculate the amount of overhead per unit, we need to take our total overhead cost assigned to the 425 and divide it by the estimated number of units we plan to produce, which was given as 200. This gives us an estimated overhead cost per unit of $8.77. For the M67, we will assign $3,000 of labor-related overhead costs. This is our $6 per direct labor hour activity rate multiplied by 500 expected direct labor hours. We'll assign $6,000 in machine-related cost, $200 in machine setup-related overhead cost, $360 in production order-related overhead cost, $140 in shipping-related overhead costs, and finally, $4,500 in general factory overhead will be assigned to the model M67. Total overhead cost then assigned to the model M67 is $14,200. We expect to produce 2,000 units, so our overhead cost per unit will be $7.10. To calculate then our unit product cost, the first thing we'll do is we'll pick up our estimated overhead cost per unit, our $8.77 and our $7.10. Next, let's look at our 425 and we'll pick up our estimated direct material cost and our estimated direct labor cost, which were given as $13 and $5.60 respectively. This means our total estimated unit cost for the K425 is $27.37. Our estimated direct material and labor cost for the M67 are $56 and $3.50 respectively, which brings our total estimated unit cost up to $66.60.